the Kongversation. I'm Hyle Russell.
I'm just wondering how long we can keep a silence going in a podcast. Is there a regulation against it?
Yeah, I think we've been fined at this point.
Oh, damn it! So, I'm Matt Cornah, the co-host of this episode. Thanks for joining us, listeners.
Today, we're going to be discussing basket weaving, the best practices.
Basket weaving?
And best results.
Yeah. What's your favourite basket weaving film?
Oh, I like the one with the baskets. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Improv. So you can expect more of that in the show as well. We've got improv. What else have we got this show? We've got a jam-packed show today, haven't we, listeners? We've got like brilliant improvised comedy, like what you just heard. We've got
dancing girls.
Dancing girls. And we have got a live suicide. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up later in the show. So, Kyle, you can take the lead now because,
Now, Matt, you can't keep promising live suicides. Eventually, we're going to have to deliver.
Okay. We're going to deliver a baby at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. So put that in your diary. 10 o'clock, a delivery of a baby. So stay tuned for that.
Wait, 10 o'clock? This is a worldwide show, Matt. I mean, you're going to have to be...
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be racist or anything. I meant 13 o'clock. Whatever it is in Bongo land.
This is the Kongversation. If you can't tell, I'm with Matt Cornah, the one and only this week. And...
They can tell. Do you know how they can tell?
How can they tell,
I said
Matt?
What my name was at the beginning of the show. I mean, I think people would have heard me say that and they would have put two and two together as to who I was. I mean, they are quite stupid, our listeners, admittedly, but I think even our listeners would have put that one.
Yeah, we really need to offer like some sort of GED program. If you listen to the Kongversation, you get your GED.
I don't know what that is, but yes, I agree.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's the high school equivalency thing. What we need to do is we need to take a page out of Donald Trump's book, or as many books.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's never read a book, so I don't know if that would be feasible. But I mean, I think he listens to a lot of audiobooks, so we could steal some of his MP3s.
Well, he started Trump University several years back, so I feel like.
Oh, yeah, I think I went to that one.
I feel like I can tell.
Because I can fart with the best of them.
You learned how to be a podcast host there. We can take a page out of his book and start Kong College, DK Vine's own university scam. And I feel like that will bring in a lot more money than the Patreon.
Well, I'm glad you feel like that. I just want to say, by the way, I like that I started this show by insulting the listeners, and I don't think we do enough of that in this show.
I think they were feeling too good about themselves, Matt. They seem to be getting a little cocky out there. We need to really take them down a peg or two, and you've done that. And now they're very despondent, which... It makes me feel better when other people are miserable because it makes me feel like I'm doing something right with my life.
That's true, isn't it? Yeah, basically, the more you put other people down, the more you feel okay. So, even though there are people that are paying to listen to this, I think what we have to do is make them feel as bad as we possibly can.
I agree. You know what? If this whole DK Vine thing doesn't pan out, what we should take this newfound mantra of making other people feel bad and become professional video game reviewers, and that's a segue.
But Hyle. But if we do that, we'd have to start playing video games, and only nerds do that.
That's true. That is true, Matt. But I was trying to do a segue there into the actual topic this week, and
you don't want to go on one of them, mate. You'll fall off a cliff. And that is a brilliant joke about segues.
That is. That's probably the best joke I've ever heard about a segue, and I've heard them all.
Have you? All two of... well, okay, so another Patreon reward. We will think of one new segue joke before the end of the show.
Wait. So
Patreon exclusive! So we cut out of the live the podcast that goes out. The brilliant segue joke will only be to Patreon subscribers that are in the Twitch chat right now.
We'll do that once we finish the proper episode, because we do live stream these, Matt. We live stream the conversation every...
I know, I'm trying to give them extra content. I'm trying to say that there are things in the show that goes out that aren't in the bit that people that don't pay for it get. I'm good at sentences. Did you hear that one? It was good, wasn't it?
I'd say you're the best.
It?
You've got the best sentences, Matt.
Yeah. I've got a degree in linguistics.
From Kong College, but...
From Kong College.
So, yeah, we live stream these every week, and we have a private Twitch chat, and we have some regulars there. Just some call-outs right now. Got I Am Gibbon, the one and only Mamechi, amazing DJ Dustin, and you also encounter some DK Vine regulars, like Cameron Regal, some staffers, I should say, and David Lynch is usually there when he's not making Twin Peaks.
Matt Cornah's there as well.
Yeah. Well, you're here right now. You're actually on the microphone right now. Yeah, what was I thinking? So anyway, if you would like to listen to this beautiful, beautiful constructed podcast live, then back us on Patreon. What? DKVine.com/Patreon. We offer lots of luscious rewards, like stickers and hearing us live. That's pretty much all we offer, honestly.
Exclusive to Patreon subscribers, segue jokes.
Segue jokes, yes. That you will have to... I'm putting that on you, Matt, because I have given all the segue jokes I have to give.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I've got one. I've got one in my locker. It's coming.
DKVine.com/Patreon. It's worth it somehow. Also, check out dkvine.com/nothing. Just dkvine.com, because we've got stuff on there as well.
You do realize, by the way, that you will have to create a subfolder in the DKVine domain /nothing.
I don't know. I'm too busy to do that. You know why? Because I'm running social media on DKVine right now. I'm running dkvine.com/Facebook, and I'm temporarily running dkvine.com/Twitter. So, juggling it all. I'm a Renaissance man, in that I will probably die when I'm 50.
Well, I'm made up for you, Hyle, that you're doing that. And just to repeat something I said earlier, it's really good to see that you're getting out and doing stuff, because if there's one thing I've always said about you, is that you don't do enough things.
This is actually like hearing my subconsciousness, my inner voice in my head, like that constantly berates me. It's like that's come to life.
Nah, well, that weren't your inner voice, mate. That was just me hiding in the bushes, heckling you.
It's impressive that you can make the trip over the Atlantic Ocean every day.
Look, why do you think I've ended up in financial dire straits?
Financial Dire Straits is the worst Mark Knopfler cover band I've ever heard. Please subscribe to the Kongversation on iTunes if you do the iTunes. If you don't do the iTunes, then there's no need. So don't worry about it. Tell your friends about the Kongversation, and of course, #bring back the spiders.
Hey, so if you're still listening, remember the call line is 1281-410 and a word. That word is a mystery, and you have to guess what it is. If you get it right, you'll get through to the Kongversation, and you can call us live. Call us live right now and join in with the conversation. I'm Matt Cornah, and I'm joined today by a special guest host, Hyle Russell, who will be saying some things about Donkey Kong and other things. Coming up later in the show is a live suicide, and so stay tuned for that. What else did we tease at the beginning of it? I'm flagging. Remember, 1281-410 on the word, and that is the number of the show. I can't keep that going. I couldn't do it. I don't know how people do it.
You did a fine job. You did a fine job, Matt. Here, I've got you.
I can't do it.
Here, I've got you. I've got you.
Coming out later on in the show is, see, I don't even have any things to tease. I don't even have the show outline in front of me. Coming out later is some discussion about John Tron. Should he have been executed? Should he have not have been executed? Call in and find out. And also, The Yooka-Laylee, a game about Banjo-Kazooie, and that is coming up as well.
That's coming up right now. Why don't we just get into the episode proper? Why don't we just do this? Life. Let's just seize it.
Yeah, stay tuned for the segue joke that's coming on later, exclusive to Patreon subscribers. That's exclusive to Patreon-only subscribers. So if you've not subscribed on Patreon, no segue joke later in the show. So it's a good job you paid that money.
You have to back us for $5 on Patreon to get that segue joke. Hey, Matt! Hey! Did you know that Yooka-Laylee comes out on Tuesday? Like this Tuesday? Coming right up?
Oh, does it? That's amazing. I can't believe it. Oh, what's going to be in it? Do you think some characters? If only one of us had had an advanced copy of it and we could play it in advance, that would have been good, wouldn't it? But well, that's not. We don't.
No, absolutely not. Nope. We found out some news about the game, such as the Yooka-Laylee rap and some other shenanigans, including lots of early reviews for the game, which have been controversial. So we've got a lot to cover. Quite honestly, I think we'll get a Pulitzer. I don't know if any podcasts have ever won a Pulitzer. Maybe Serial, if any, but.
Yeah, I think some podcasts have won Serial, but not a Pulitzer.
That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah, so I think the Hanks Giving podcast won some Cocoa Pops,
and they deserve them too. They deserve them.
They really did. I mean, they didn't want them, but they got them.
They didn't want them at first, but then they realized they made their milk all chocolatey, and then they were all about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's what John Hanks would have wanted. John Hanks, that's his name, isn't it?
John Hanks, is that how John Tron's gonna?
Yeah, John.
Is that,
good old.
Is that how John Tron's gonna rebrand himself to be more likable?
To be fair, I would like him more if his last name was Hanks. I think that's true of most people.
It's true. I know it's true of me.
Yes. So, and I did preface that sentence with the phrase "to be fair" very deliberately because I don't want anyone to think I'm not being fair on John Tron.
Yes. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
We're not being unfair.
Yeah. Let's be very. If he changed his name to John Hanks, we would like him more. That's just true. It doesn't matter what you think of him. It's still true. Whatever horrible, fat, racist things he said.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Anything he said, if his last name was Hanks, it would be a little bit more tolerable.
Right. That's all I'm saying. Okay?
I also want to point out that it's currently 1:17 a.m. where Matt is located, and yet he is the one who's derailing the podcast and is keeping us from actually discussing the topic at hand.
I apologize to all of the listeners.
You're doing it to yourself, man. You're the one who's like in the furthest out time zone who's listening to this live right now. So I
don't matter, mate. I've got nothing to do.
Because I know you like to get up to milk the cows and pluck the chickens. So I'm worried.
And wank. I like to get up to do that as well.
Both of those were just a euphemism. You like to do it twice in the morning. You milk the cow and you pluck the chicken.
Yooka-Laylee, a game coming out soon on the GameCube. That's the GameCube, the new Nintendo console. Actually, I suppose we should talk maybe a little bit, at least anyway, about the mild controversy concerning the Switch from the Wii U to the Switch, because as I understand it, and by the way, I've not actually heard anyone personally that's said this, but as I understand it, some people are upset about that.
Yeah, so this is kind of the whole point of this episode. Yooka-Laylee is coming out on April 11th, this coming Tuesday, and, you know, for...
April 11th! April 11th! That's like double April Fools, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe it's not even going to come out. Maybe it's just going to be...
Yeah, maybe it's a joke game! And we should have known because it come out on April 11th, idiot! And that is double April Fools, so you're an idiot for even thinking it was real.
It's funny, because for the vast majority of Yooka-Laylee's pre-release honeymoon period, if you want to call it that, where the gaming community has had vigorous intercourse with Yooka-Laylee. But people have had nothing but glowing praise heaped upon Yooka-Laylee, and
Right.
A certain contingent of the larger Rare fan base has kind of taken to Yooka-Laylee and Platonic as the real Rare, and it's been a minor source of controversy for those of us who like both of them, and who have really embraced what Rare is doing over in Twycross. But in the last couple of weeks, there's been that's almost inevitable when anything gets really popular. The backlash has kind of come against Platonic, and it's kind of taken the wind out of the sails of this pre-release period. Quite unfortunately, granted, it's been a vocal minority, but vocal minorities are usually the cause of any ruckus. I mean, it's usually not the majority who are causing problems, and
it's just the minorities. We've got to get them deported. Brexit.
The comments of Matthew Cornah.
The comments of Matt Cornah do not reflect the opinions of Matt Cornah.
Every time Matt says something offensive, it's actually Matthew Cornah who's at fault.
That's true, yes. My alter ego, who has the same name and voice as me. So, but he's not me. So it's all fine. Keep listening, subscribe on Patreon, stay tuned.
What?
We'll be talking about Yooka-Laylee later on in the show. And also stay tuned for the live suicide. That's a live suicide and also a segue joke exclusive to the Patreon subscribers. Matt may forget how to speak later on in the show, but at the moment he's doing it okay.
By the way, my alter ego is Hyde Roussel, of course. And I want to pitch to Chad right now when he eventually returns. He needs to come back as Bad Chad, his the motorcycle riding alter ego with slick back hair who doesn't abide by the rules.
And he'd be like this all the time. Hey.
By the way, I would just like to point out, for those of you in the live Twitch stream waiting for this segue joke and the promised live suicide, no, Tip Top Kong is also in the live chat right now. So we've got another one who's going to witness this brilliant segue joke that you've promised. Just don't mix up the order of the segue joke and the suicide, because if you do one before the other, they're not going to get the other.
Oh, I didn't say it was going to be my suicide.
Oh.
Don't be stupid.
So,
no, I'm going to film someone else's.
Oh, well, okay, that makes me feel better.
One of our listeners, I think.
The Kevin Callahan interview last week went a lot more smoothly than this did. I just have to point out.
Well, he's a very smooth man, isn't he?
I don't really remember too much about that. I think I had my drink spiked beforehand or something. I don't really know what happened. Anyway. I need to go back and listen to that. I still haven't done that. I really should take notes on that.
Yeah, because usually you edit the episodes, don't you? But that was one of the few times that you didn't edit it at all. You just put it out exactly as it was.
Because I was pretty sure it was perfect. It was spot on, pitch perfect.
No, you're completely right. You know what? Weirdly, I can't really remember what happened, because I listened to that twice and I still can't remember what happened in
Probably all the vigorous masturbation you do. You do it twice in the morning, after all. So,
well, I mean, that's just the normal one. It's if I'm listening to an episode of The Kongversation, especially one with Kevin Callahan, I mean, I've got wanks to spare.
Good God. The Yooka-Laylee controversy. I'm putting my foot down here, Matt. I'm putting it down.
Don't put it in a horse's shoe, because then you will be an horse.
The first bloom off the rose of Yooka-Laylee's immaculate reception is happened a couple of months back when it was revealed the Wii U version was being canceled, and people unfairly blamed Platonic, when, let's be honest, it was Nintendo's fault. It's always Nintendo's fault on the Kongversation. But
what's the general feeling on that, by the way? Because I don't know of anyone who has a Wii U that isn't either going to get a Switch or already has, say, I don't know, for instance, a PC.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think most people were understanding of the situation. Basically, Nintendo doesn't want any new Wii U games being put to market when they're not supporting or selling the system at this point. Breath of the Wild was the last, the swan song, and it was kind of a muted swan song since,
Swan song
came out on the Switch.
Which is, of course, that's a swan song.
You transported me, Matt. I really believed I was next to a swan. That being said, most people were understanding, but unfortunately there were some Kickstarter backers who were quite upset. And look, I went in on the Wii U version on Kickstarter, and this was like in the early days of the Rare Renaissance, where I wasn't even sure if I was going to get an Xbox One at the time. And I mean, I wasn't sure when I was going to get an Xbox One. Obviously I got one very shortly thereafter for Project Spark. But I went in on the Wii U version, and I had to upgrade to the Xbox One version, but I don't really care. Well, this
is the thing, though, isn't it? Like, I went in with the PC version. I don't even remember why I opted for that. Maybe I didn't even have a Wii U at the time that Yooka-Laylee was announced. I don't really remember.
Wait, you played Tropical Freeze. Yeah, so you had a Wii U. I mean, Tropical Freeze was a year before Yooka-Laylee was even announced.
Well, okay. My point is, I don't actually remember the thought process that went into it. But the thing about how Playtonic handled the switch from Wii U to Switch. There's probably a joke in there, by the way. If you any jokesmiths listening, trying to find one. The thing about that was,
I hope Jokesmith is the new Doctor Who.
I hope so, yeah.
He's just Matt Smith, but with a clown nose.
Yeah, Matt Smith joke. I've got nothing to do with that, and also you've made me lose my throat. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Playtonic gave people the option to switch over to any of their other options, which is something that was not made available to, for instance, myself, who got the PC version. I don't have the option to switch off over to a Xbox version.
So you chose poorly. You're like that Nazi who drank from the wrong grail.
You chose poorly. The true ukulele copy would be a humble ukulele copy.
By the way, in our Twitch chat, Mamechi, in all caps, has said that I am wrong. And I'm going to...
I am wrong. No, it's I am Gibbon. It's his name. I am Gibbon, not I am wrong.
I'm going to shout this, which is the way Mamechi relayed this information to me. The real Wii U Swan Song is the new game from Warner Brothers, which is Disney's Pixar's Cars 3, the video game. And then he typed the letter A, which I think was a typo.
Was it in all caps?
Yes, it was in all caps. And then he...
Hey! I've done it for you.
And then Mameshi says, you're wrong, Matt, because he says he was able to switch from the PC to the Xbox version when the Wii U version was canceled.
I was not aware I had that option. I did look into it, so maybe Mamechi has been given, and quite rightly so, by the way, preferential treatment.
Quite clearly, they heard his episode of the Kongversation.
Yeah, they heard that. They thought, you know what, this guy can have anything they want from us. Everyone at Rare, at Playtonic, by the way, talks like that, as well as everyone from America.
So the first Yooka-Laylee controversy was the whole Wii U cancellation. Not really Playtonic's fault. They even though I guess Disney is via Warner Brothers is allowed to release a Cars 3 video game on the Wii U. I don't know how they're allowed to, but Playtonic's clearly not as big as Disney, so they get bullied around a bit, I guess, by the big N.
Probably Playtonic would have been able to release it on the Wii U if they'd pushed for it. There's just no reason for them to do that.
And would it be financially viable for them to actually do it?
Exactly.
Yes. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know who's really at fault here. I would say, but I would say the realities...
Anyone who bought a Wii U, in my opinion.
The economic realities of the situation would say it makes more sense just to do a Switch version later in the year. And yes, it's unfortunate that Nintendo loyalists will not be able to play the game on April 11th. But you know what? That's what you get when you're a Nintendo loyalist. You've got to wait.
Did Nintendo loyalists not have PCs?
Nope.
They used the Wii U browser.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That reliable interface of watching YouTube. They watch Bill Trinan and Reggie make jokes about donuts.
Well, I mean, you've basically just described my entire personal life, so good. I'm happy for them.
That was the first kind of discontentment in the fandom, but obviously then we had the whole JonTron situation, which I'm just going to give a Cliff Notes version of it. YouTube millionaire personality Jonathan Tronathan said some racially insensitive, not just racially insensitive, but racially provocative statements, not as a joke, but as this philosophy he actually lives by. And he and Platonic had what's called a bromance, which is when two men have a mutual affection, but that doesn't result in sexual shenanigans. And
basically the exact opposite of what me and you have going.
Absolutely. For all you Hyle and Matt shippers out there, that's a little tasty treat just for you.
Yeah. It wasn't tasty for me.
Yeah, that's because I drank WD-40 before you went down on me. I wanted to be as unpleasant as possible.
Crack on. Crack on talking about JonTron. I mean, this isn't going to land us in hot water at all, is it?
No, absolutely not. So, anyway.
It's completely fine, fat racist cunt.
Yeah. So, JonTron had some mumbles in the game. He mumbled a character, as is the wont of the Yooka-Laylee characters. I'm sure JonTron sounded something like blah, 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 blah. And that was going to be a brilliant character.
Do that again.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right. So that will be available as a ringtone for Patreon exclusive subscribers. That's Patreon exclusive subscribers. Anyone using that as a ringtone who isn't one will be put in prison. That's prison. Carry on.
So anyway, Jonathan Tronathan, he's an entertaining sort on the YouTube. Yeah, he has his fans. He still has his fans, and the people who stood by.
Look, I mean, in all fairness, he has made me laugh. He's given me a chuckle.
Just because you hate the blacks, Matt.
I do hate that. What? No, I can't even. Even ironically, I can't bring myself to say that.
They removed his mumbles from the game because, well,
right.
He kind of torpedoed himself, and then the people said, "Hold on, you're violating JonTron's First Amendment rights." Now, granted, I don't know how Platonic, a British company, over there in the UK lands. How they...
Well, what they didn't know is the First Amendment in the UK law is that thou shalt be able to do a grunt on a game. That's the First Amendment.
Right. I don't really understand how your parliamentary system works, really, and that's just even more confusing. Is that a result of Brexit, Matt? Did that First Amendment get passed after Brexit?
I think JonTron had a lot to do with Brexit because I think that's what triggered it. I think people thought, oh well, if JonTron's allowed to be in the game, then we should probably get out of Europe. So that's because of all the foreigners. So so if you want to blame anyone, blame the English. I'm JonTron. Blacks aren't as good as whites, are they not? Banjo-Kazooie is rubbish. So that's not good, is it?
To be fair to JonTron.
Why? Why be fair? What's the point in being fair? What?
It's nuts and bolts that he thought was rubbish. Let's be fair to him.
Yeah, I know.
He likes the original Banjo-Kazooie.
Obviously, I don't know even enough about him to make fun of him accurately.
Yeah. But anyway, he got his mumbles removed from the game, and then people decided to boycott Platonic because how dare they, a private business, remove a guy who is almost confirmed to be a racist from the game. And you know what? the whole situation.
We wanted to gloss over it. Possibly this will be edited out of the podcast.
No, I mean, look, we're discussing the downtrodden events that have occurred in Yooka-Laylee's pre-release lifespan these last couple of weeks leading up to the release of the game. So,
I mean, if you want a definitive statement on it, I mean, I don't really think Playtonic should have cared enough to remove his vocals because it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. But they've shot themselves in the foot, I think, a little bit by doing it because it is as though they are making a statement, which they're not, by the way, but it seems to some people like they are. And that's unfortunate. But I would say, though, anyone who would boycott the game because JonTron has been removed is exactly as stupid as anyone who is only going to play the game if JonTron isn't in it.
It was a situation where they got in bed with this guy before the ugliness started, when he was just a beloved YouTube personality.
We all know it's unfortunate. All of it's unfortunate.
And really, had they left him in, it would have been seen by many as an approval of what he said, even if it was just a silent approval. You know, they as a upstart company.
I would characterize it as, it would be like if, say, for example, someone running, I don't know, say a Donkey Kong website. Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine that a Donkey Kong website was invited to the studio that made Donkey Kong games back in the day. And then that studio discovered the website that person had made and found, like, say, the article about Nazis and, I don't know, all kinds of strange things.
Yeah.
And then goes, oh, what the hell are these people doing? It'd be like that.
Thank God that didn't happen. So JonTron is a racist. But the thing is, JonTron said he was fine being removed from the game. He understood, and he said hey, I still want to play Yooka-Laylee. But then the people who are like diehard JonTronians, they wouldn't have that, and they're still boycotting the game. So it's a bunch of nonsense.
Well, the diehard JonTronians are annoyed that Bruce Willis has been removed from the game, aren't they? Remember, just anyone who wants to talk about anything that's been brought up in the show, it's 1281 410 and a word, a mystery word that you have to guess. That's 1281 410 and a word. I've been Matt Cornah, and also joining me today is Hyle Russell. Later on, we've got some exciting things to excite you on the show. A live suicide. What are the things we said? Oh, that's right. A live suicide and a joke about a segue.
So can I play the Yooka-Laylee rap now, Matt? Okay, so basically what happened was Grant Kirkhope wrote a spiritual sequel to the DK rap, but it's not just a spiritual sequel, because Chris Sutherland is reprising his role as one of the original DK rappers, and he's doing a new rap with Mr. Grant Kirkhope. And I would like to play this for you right now. Maybe you've heard it. I'm sure you've heard it if you're listening to this, but I'm going to play it for you so it's fresh in your mind. And then we're going to discuss the Yooka-Laylee rap, Matt, because here's another thing people are unhappy about suddenly with Playtonic. There are fans who are not pleased with the fucking Yooka-Laylee rap. So I want to bring this up. I want to touch upon this. And I want to really dissect whether the Yooka-Laylee rap is worthy of being a sequel to the DK rap. And we're also going to be discussing the continuity ramifications of the Yooka-Laylee rap. These are all things that are coming up once I play the Yooka-Laylee rap. And yes, Matt, I'm not letting you talk right now because you're going to derail me for another 20 minutes. So I'm just going to keep talking until I play the Yooka-Laylee rap, which I'm going to play right now.
Hey man, are you ready for this?
Yeah, I was ready 20 years ago.
Okay, let's do this.
Here we go.
Oh, it's finally time. Oh, thanks to you, it's the game revival. You helped come true. They said this seems dead. That's a load of yap. And we're here to prove it with this familiar rap. His name's on the box, and he's green as heck.
The cross is lizard and
You'll get wrecked. There's plenty of room between his orange crest, so he's the perfect partner for this buddy quest. He's quick, nimble, and rolls real fast, and he flies his pants on the shipwreck mast. Yooka-Laylee, a lizard and a bat. What's up with that? Yooka-Laylee,
a lizard and a bat.
and a snake in the hat. Her name comes second, but don't be fooled. Bad mouth is bad, and you'll get schooled. She'll send your head spinning with her sonar ring. She can soar through the air with her super strong wing. With her on your side, you're sure to find the many golden goodies the adventure hides. Yooka-Laylee, a lizard and a bat. What's up with that? Yooka-Laylee,
A lizard and a bat.
and a snake in the hat. They're finally together and stronger as two. Yooka and Laylee are real cool too. Their buddy trouser will power your moves, while Dr. Puss provides the nuts and bolts and screws. We really hope you have a blast, 'cause this friendship is built to last.
Come on, Rex, Joe, drop an old school beat.
The pages and cages, we'll set them free. Just take a look at you all called Yooka-Laylee. The pages and cages, we'll set them free. Just take a look at you all called Yooka-Laylee. The pages and cages, we'll set them free. Just take a look at you all called Yooka-Laylee. The pages and cages, we'll set them free. Just take a look at you all called Yooka-Laylee. The pages and cages, we'll set them free. Just take a look at you all called Yooka-Laylee.
So that was a thing that happened.
I enjoyed it.
So right,
We all enjoyed it. What did you think of it, Hyle Russell?
well,
Please.
here's the thing about it. It's fine. It's a good, serviceable, goofy little rap, which is what the DK rap was essentially back in the day too. The problem is that I think a lot of people got into their heads, and I know I did, and I don't know how I got this into my head, that the Yooka-Laylee rap was going to be somewhat more self-deprecating than it actually was. The problem people are having with it is it's actually sincere. And they thought that it was going to be a bit of a piss take, trading on the reputation, especially the disdain Grant Kirkhope has for the DK rap. And they thought it was going to be something with a lot more self-mocking in tone, maybe with the rappers eventually culminating in a live suicide. But this time just for the Kickstarter backers of Yooka-Laylee instead of the patrons of DK Vine. And this was also kind of helped the day before because Playtonic released a short little teaser the day before they revealed the Yooka-Laylee rap with Grant Kirkhope kind of commenting on the beat, the music, and he basically said, "Oh no, I recognize this. I recognize this. This sounds familiar," and basically promising that it was going to be terrible. And so a lot of people thought that was kind of going to be the crux of the song, the gimmick, and it wasn't. It was just a sincere little rap about Yooka-Laylee, and people think it's basically a wasted effort. I can see that point, but this is fine. I mean, this is really no different than the DK rap. The only thing is the DK rap had the word hell in it.
Exactly.
The DK rap had hell in it, and that was
I was going to say that as well. But they had to rhyme heck with what was it, wrecked or something.
And
like
they
that.
weren't allowed to say crap. They had to say yap. And some
Yap.
some people are saying
That's rubbish, isn't it?
Well, some people are saying, well, why didn't they just say crap? Because they're no longer under the thumb of Nintendo, and they can be as profane as they want to be.
That's a good point.
That's ignoring, though, that they do have a publisher, Team 17. And I do know from interviews that Playtonic has given that Team 17 was kind of worried about some of their content. For example, Capital Casino, which I believe is the fourth world of the game, or maybe the third. I think it's the fourth. Capital Casino.
If only you knew.
I don't. There's literally no way for me to know. Capital Casino, Team 17 was worried was actually going to promote gambling. And they were very worried that it was going to teach children how to gamble their life savings away. So Playtonic had to assure them that no, there's not going to be actually depictions of legitimate gambling. There's not going to be baccarat in Capital Casino. And so I think any self moderation, self-censoring is probably to appease their publisher. And quite honestly, I think there's probably less you can get away with in 2017 than there is in 1999, at least to attain an E rating. So
there was a reference to nuts and bolts in there as well.
There was, and people are actually asking, do you think that was intentional? No, I think it was a complete accident.
Oh, how incredibly embarrassing. Hey, I suppose the thing about the DK rap is it was, I think, quite explicitly a take-off of that Run DMC song, isn't it? It's like that, and that's the way it is. That one.
Yeah.
You all remember it. We were all singing it in the school playground. Whereas this one isn't so much a takeoff of any specific rap song as a more absurd iteration of the DK rap.
It's a takeoff of the DK rap itself. That's the
Yeah. And but it's sort of it's got additional kind of cartoony instrumentation.
Yeah.
Ludicrous Kirkhopian, which I like as a word. Kirkhopian. Musical decoration there. And I, for one, am only approving of this. There is absolutely nothing about the ukulele rap that I don't find delight in.
It's very catchy. Granted, it is essentially the DK rap, but with new words and some added instrumentation, as you said. But
well, all raps are that, aren't they?
Oh, that's what Jontron would say, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because of his dislike of anything that isn't his race. I was trying to think of a way of phrasing that didn't directly implicate him, and I just did it anyway. It's a shame, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, look, it's kind of hard. I think one issue that I had, at least initially, was I don't really know the Yooka-Laylee characters, including Yooka-Laylee, all that well. I spent some time with them in the.
Well, I don't know them either. They're not real.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean, Matt. By the time Donkey Kong 64 rolled around, I had many long, sobering thoughts about how Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong lived their lives. And so...
Well, yeah, but you didn't know how about Lanky Kong.
No, but that's the thing.
How he lived his life.
The DK rap effectively introduced the three new Kongs and showed you what Donkey and Diddy were capable of in this game. So there was that sense of familiarity with it and also that sense of new. And it's also had...
suppose so.
It's had close to 18 years to build up a reputation for itself. And that reputation is... People view it now as a self-conscious piss take. They did not view that back in 1999. People were legitimately beside themselves that this terrible thing existed. And I think it's just the benefit of time is not with the ukulele rap. So I don't know how to judge it personally. I can't hold it up to the DK rap.
I would say don't. Yeah. Yeah, no, you can't hold anything up to the DK rap. The main problem with the DK rap, the original one that is it's not very good. It's not very good as a piss take. It's not very good as like a parody of things that existed already. It's not a very good rap.
Yeah.
I would say. And I'm sorry to everyone listening to this to break it to them. The DK rap isn't very good. But it's not, like, the rhymes are very bad. And I think one thing I'm quite satisfied by is the fact that the ukulele rap has done that again. But you know, in a more self-conscious way, I guess. But like that rubbish rhymes, that's one of the things that's always made me chuckle about the DK rap.
Yeah, I don't know. That the one part about the ukulele rap I really don't care for is a lizard and a bat. What's up with that? Because I don't know what's up with that. You tell me, ukulele rap.
Yeah, it's no walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells, grape smells, oranges, and coconut sugar. Pineapple smells.
It's so effectively weird, Matt. Like, what the hell is a pineapple? Like, I know what pineapple smells like, I guess. I mean, pineapple doesn't really have much of a smell, to be honest. Have you really tried to sniff a pineapple? It's got a faint odor.
It has a smell, but not so much of a smell that you would ever write a rap lyric about it.
That's the issue, yeah. But that's kind of what makes it, like, there's layers to the DK rap that reveal themselves over time, and you're like, well,
well, okay, but I don't think any of that is deliberate. I think it's just...
Right. No.
I don't think the stupidity of it is deliberate.
That's years of us analyzing it, and it's become iconic as a result.
In many ways, we are the stupid ones for analyzing it.
People are upset because the ukulele rap is not as instantly iconic as the DK rap, but the DK rap wasn't iconic back then. Like, you are wishing this had 18 years of history behind it. And yeah, I wish it was more self-deprecating. I wish it was a little bit more winking, because that would be a funny take. That would be the take I would go. But guess what? Playtonic didn't hire me to write the ukulele rap. They hired Grant fucking Kirkhope. So
also, I would say, isn't it brilliant that they've even bothered to do something like that?
The fact that Chris Sutherland...
Admittedly, it was one of their Patreon goals. Not Patreon, what is it? Kickstarter. That's the one.
No, our Patreon goals are...
The DK Vine Rap, by the way, anyone who's subscribing to us on Patreon will be delighted to know that the DK Vine Rap is available to anyone subscribing on Patreon on... how much is no one subscribing on? £1,000 and above.
No, anyway, but the fact that it's Chris Sutherland's DK rapper, I wish they could have hired George Andreas to reprise his role, because it does make me wonder, because we've already determined that the DK rappers are legitimate characters within the Donkey Kong universe, because the DK rap is referenced by Funky Kong in Donkey Kong Country 2 Game Boy Advance, and they do play the DK rap via the DK bongos in the original Donkey Konga. So, there you go.
No, there's absolutely no doubt that the people who recorded the DK rap are actual people in both the real world and the Donkey Kong universe.
Right, but...
there is no doubt about that!
I would like to imagine that the DK rappers are, they're apes or something. Maybe they befell those orangutan cops we were on about a couple months back.
Nah, fuck the police. They'd be the anti-police faction, wouldn't they?
Fuck the orangutan police.
Fuck the feds, they would be saying, wouldn't they? They're probably what other apes are there? Chimpanzees. You know, there's never been chimpanzees in a Donkey Kong game.
People refer to Diddy Kong wrongly as a chimpanzee, but he's a monkey.
No, he's got a tail, mate. Yeah.
So yeah, I like to imagine the DK rappers, in my head canon, they are chimpanzees. Or maybe...
yeah, same.
Bonobos. Chris Sutherland was originally paired... well, I'll call him DK rapper number 1. He was originally paired with DK rapper number 2, who was George Andreas. But in this ukulele rap... he is with Grant Kirkhope, who is voicing a new character who I'll call ukulele rapper number 1. just to make it extra confusing. So I want to know what happened to George Andres' DK Rapper. Did he have a falling out with Chris Sutherland's DK Rapper?
Well, do you think maybe he got shot when he was younger and the bullet made its way slowly to his vital organs and eventually he died? What would be a more Donkey Kong Universe appropriate version of that? I think maybe he got shot with a nut gun. Yes, that's a nut gun. And the nut got impaled. He got impaled by a nut.
Now, do you think when he got shot by this coconut gun, do you think it hurt him in any way?
Well, he wrote a song about it, so presumably.
Well, I would like to think maybe when they were filming a music video, he accidentally got shot with the coconut gun.
Oh, so you think it? So you think it was karma? He was taking it lightly, wasn't he, when he wrote those rap lyrics? But what you have to remember is you might get shot with the coconut gun, mightn't you?
It was like Brandon Lee in The Crow. He got shot during production, and they had to finish the DK rap using CGI and a stand-in, which maybe is Grant Kirkhope's rapper, and then that's how he got partnered with the Chris Sutherland's DK rapper, and then they eventually. But anyway, I like this notion that they did this rap for Donkey. They did 2 DK raps, by the way. They did one in 1994 for Donkey and Diddy after they retrieved the banana horde. That's what Funky is referring to in Donkey Kong Country 2 Game Boy Advance, since that takes place chronologically.
Yes, we've established this because there couldn't possibly have been a DK rap as we saw it in Donkey Kong 64 in 1995.
Well, it was referenced in 1995, even though the Game Boy Advance Donkey Kong Country 2 came out in 2004. So, yeah, what we know as the DK rap is in universe.
This isn't alienating.
Actually, the DK rap 99 is not alienating, Matt. This is why people tune into the Kongversation, in my opinion.
That's why I said it.
To hear grown men worry about this nonsense. That being said, this would make. I like that the DK rapper Chris Sutherland and his new partner, the Yooka-Laylee rapper, I like that they saw fit to. They did these 2 rap songs, and then they saw fit. They were inspired by Yooka-Laylee's adventure here in 2017, and they said, you know what, we ought to do a new rap based on this. I like that they keep up on the rare archipelago news, but they never saw fit to do a rap about Banjo-Kazooie or Conker or anything. That wasn't impressive enough for them.
I mean, they're not really paying attention, are they?
Or maybe they're just like washed up rappers and they're trying to reclaim their glory. So that's why they're doing a Yooka-Laylee rap.
That could be true. I mean, maybe they've done loads of raps that just haven't really made the charts.
Maybe it's like meta and they like had to start a Kickstarter to record a new single. And yeah, I like that. All that being said,
hey, listen, I want to know what you think of the fact that the voice they seem to be doing isn't really the same voice that they were doing in the original version. They're kind of doing a more like overtly and deliberately comic performance rather than, as I guess was in the original one, like a almost sincere attempt to impersonate that Run DMC song.
Yeah, I noticed it's and I think that's also what's throwing people off about the tone of it. It's a little bit more cartoony rather than just laughably bad.
I don't mind that per se, because I think for people who don't know the original, it needs to be clear that they're not making a serious attempt at doing a rap.
Right. But to be fair, the only reason this rap is in there is for people who remember the DK rap. So,
well, yeah,
but that being said, that makes the Yooka-Laylee game a Donkey Kong spinoff rather than Fish and Chaps. So the way we categorize games on DK Vine, if something is spun off from Donkey Kong proper, it becomes a full-fledged spin-off. So Banjo is a full-fledged spin-off. Conker is a full-fledged spin-off. Dinosaur Planet, for some reason, is a full-fledged spin-off. But any...
I mean, when explaining this, probably don't mention Dinosaur Planet.
Yeah. But a spin-off of a spin-off, for example, if Royston appears in a game, that will be a Fish and Chaps game. So, Fish and Chaps, because Mr. Pants is also part of this category. Basically, these are just Banjo-Kazooie spin-offs. So you got It's Mr. Pants, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Viva Pinata, and Yooka-Laylee, because of that unnamed goldfish in Dr. Puzz's bowl, that would make this fish and chaps. But because there's a DK wrapper in the game, that makes this a full-fledged Donkey Kong spin-off, and that makes the entire shared Platonic universe a Donkey Kong spin-off. We've got a little bit of changes to the forum coming up. Don't want to reveal anything, but I've got I've got it mapped out in my head how we're going to arrange things starting on Tuesday. Spoiler alerts.
Right. I mean, that's all great. And that is there any real difference between something that's a Banjo-Kazooie spin-off and something that's a Donkey Kong spin-off?
No. We've just grouped it in Fish and Chaps in the past, and this will have its own category because it wouldn't be fair to Yooka-Laylee to group it under Fish and Chaps because this is going to be kickstarting a whole interconnected Platonic library of games. So really, it was going to be its own category anyway, but now it's
own branch.
It's confirmed. It's legitimized even more. There you go.
By the DK rappers.
By the way, I know
who are fictional and invisible chimpanzees that we've decided that they are. I mean, I like the fact that we're essentially calling Grant Kirkhope and Chris Sutherland chimps.
Well, we don't know if Grant Kirkhope is a chimp. We're saying George Andreas and Chris Sutherland were chimps.
Oh, I can confirm. He's from Yorkshire. He's definitely a chimp.
You can say that, and I can't because I just know about the pudding from there, but that's all I really know.
Yeah.
We have some calls to take, Matt, and we're going to take these calls. Hopefully JonTron didn't call in with a racial tirade. I didn't screen these ahead of time, so I don't know who's going to be calling in. All right. Well, let's take the first call. Fingers crossed this won't land us in hot water.
Hey, guys, it's Dustin, from the forums. So, lately, Platonic's been doing that character of the day thing on their Twitter. I know a few weeks ago you guys talked about what you thought about some of the characters. Some of the ones they've been showing off are maybe a little better than others. But I wanted to know which ones you guys particularly like best. For me, I would say I really love Capital B's design, just his general look. The colors are really nice. And while Dr. Puzz's promo art is maybe not super great, I would say her in-game model looks a lot better. It works a lot better when you see it animated. So which character designs do you guys like best so far? Thanks. Have a great rest of the show.
Yeah, they're all fine.
No, he's asking who your favorite is. Well, the interesting thing about Yooka-Laylee that I think will be going over some reviewers' heads is that the character designs are a gloriously ugly mishmash of different styles. This is basically this is like the traveling Wilburys of Rare-related games, in that you've got like all these different artists designing the characters in their own style. So you've got Mark Stevenson, you've got Ed Bryan, you've got
Jeff Lynne. Yeah,
Jeff Lynne is there.
Doing the production.
Jeff Lynne's always there for some reason, even though nobody really wants him there. He's there. So, you've got like very like Mark Stevenson type designs like Rextro. You've got Ed Bryan's Dr. Puzz, which just looks bizarre. And I think Dr. Puzz is supposed to be one of the only like human characters in the game, or at least she started off as a human before she spliced herself with octopus DNA.
Yeah, I mean we all start off as human, don't we?
Matt, what's your favorite Yooka-Laylee character design thus far?
I mean, is it boring to say Laylee? I think
pretty
she looks
boring.
It's just the red nose is great.
Wait, you like Lanky Kong too? You have a thing about red noses, and Matt Smith in a red nose. Joke Smith.
Oh, Joke Smith. Yes, I love Joke Smith. He's good, isn't he?
Can't wait till he replaces Peter Capaldi.
That was a callback to earlier on in the episode, but only Patreon subscribers will be able to hear it again. So sorry to all of the free listeners.
No, you know what? That's a freebie. That's a preview, a little sample. That's what you get when you back us on Patreon.
Wow.
You get callbacks to jokes that didn't work in the first place.
Oh, you're so charitable. It's like Red Nose Day or something.
Oh!
Yeah, Laylee's great though, isn't she?
Yeah, I like Yooka-Laylee. It's weird for me because I'm so used to Rare making furry mammals that to have those characters without fur as our protagonist, because Rare's really always set it up like these furry mammals fight green scaly things, be it crocodiles or ugly witches, and it's a bit weird to.
Okay, so if it makes it easier for you, pretend you are Crunch.
It does make it easier for me.
Okay.
Thank you. I will pretend.
Yeah,
Wait. Okay, so I will pretend I'm Crunch. Just not just playing Yooka-Laylee, but in every
just in life,
waking aspect of my life.
Just go in the shops.
Yeah, I'm Crunch.
Oh. I mean, I don't know what you do for a job, but for the purposes of this conversation, let's assume you worked on a mine. You clock in at the mine that you worked down, and
Trump is bringing the coal mining jobs back. That's what he said. So
yeah. Thanks, Don. I don't know why you're even suggesting that it isn't your job, because it is your job. That's what you do. Anyway, so you clock in at the mine, and instead of doing what you would usually do, which is to just go, oh, got some mining to do today. What you do instead is you go, got some mining to do today. Thinking about it, it's exactly the same as your life is anyway, but with a slightly stranger voice. I've been Matt Cornah. Thank you for joining us on the Kongversation. That's the Kongversation. 1281410 and a mystery word for the call-in this week. If you can guess what that word is.
Well, my favorite character, Dustin, is they revealed this on their Twitter page about mid.
Dustin, you're my favorite character as well.
They revealed I quite like you. If you were a character in Yooka-Laylee, Dustin, you'd be my favorite. But in about mid-March, they revealed Ollie the Trolley on their Twitter page.
Oh yes.
It's such a rubbish character that and it's kind of a suicidal shopping cart and
a trolley.
Yes, and it's along the metal cart, and on the bottom it's kind of rusted, and it's got googly eyes on the handle. And it's got these sad little bags tied around it that have like the Platonic logo and the Yooka-Laylee, I guess, logo itself.
Yeah, I do like. What's the name of the signpost?
Oh,
I forget it. I do like the
Planker.
ones that Planker. That's the one. Yeah, Planker. Yeah, I love the ones that just must live a horrific life.
Yeah.
Like the inanimate objects that, were you to give them sentience, would only lead horrific lives. So Ollie the Trolley also has the added benefit of having a funny name as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Planker's great, but Ollie the Trolley, come on, it rhymes.
What I really like about things like Ollie the Trolley's, Platonic has actually come up with a mechanic for how these inanimate objects in the Rare archipelago come to life, and that's these googly eyes that attach to them.
Yeah.
So I love that we have kind of a logic to it all now, and and we can still say maybe Taj is the one who created these googly eyes, and he like attached them to things.
Well, that was like a long-standing explanation for them for a long time, wasn't it? That Taj done it.
Yeah, but these googly eyes had to come from somewhere. So I like Taj came up with this because he was a lonely genius.
Or sometimes the Winky Bunyan sisters did it.
Yeah.
But only if they are baddies.
Well, and that doesn't dispel the idea that they just brought things to life with magic, But I like that you have this. It doesn't necessarily have to be that Taj brought everything across the archipelago to life. He just created the googly eyes, and they spread out across the archipelago, and that's why we have so many things like living shopping carts. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. Let's play the next call.
It's me, the Metrozoid. So, Yooka-Laylee, I have quite a few concerns. Now, Now, I know people are saying, oh, you should listen to the reviews or anything, because they're just exaggerating. But two reviewers I really respect, Jim Sterling, who is the guy who said it is morally right to pirate Nintendo games, and Laura Kate Daly, both of them gave the games really bad reviews, and I'm really worried because I respect all these people. Now, I know Jim Sterling is a bit angry and stuff, but Laura really wanted to like the game, apparently, and she just gave it a 3 out of 10, even though she backed it and everything. Same thing with Jim Sterling, he backed it, so I'm worried. These two gave it really low scores. Now, I have another concern, of course. The characters in the game, and the game itself looks way too much like Banjo-Kazooie. And I know that Topo is meant to be a 3D platformer. Well, yeah, I know that, but I'm having an issue with that because it just looks like Banjo-Kazooie again. So I think I'm not going to like it because I'm just playing the same game again, but different. But it just bothers me. Next of all, from what I've seen of Sea of Thieves, because, the more and more I see of Sea of Thieves, the more excited I get for it. And honestly, Hyle, I just can't see it comparing to Yooka-Laylee. I'm sorry. I don't like well, I do like it. I'm just saying, I'm more excited for Sea of Thieves, not Yooka-Laylee. And the only characters I've liked are Dr. Quack and Capital B so much. So now I know I haven't really seen the game much, but I'm not a fan of Yooka or Laylee, as it seems, because they both seem like I just don't like them. I like Capital B and Dr. Quack. No one else. Not even any of the side characters. Hyle, I don't know what's going on with me. I just can't seem to get into Yooka-Laylee, and I feel bad for it. And I kickstarted the game. Now I feel really bad. Hyle, what can I do? You gotta help me, man. You really have to help me. Here. Okay? And just remember, stuff. Yeah.
Remember stuff, Matt. Nothing else you do in life. Remember stuff.
I tend not to, though.
It's actually true. If you know Matt, he doesn't really remember things at all.
Probably not.
Thank you for the call, Mamechi. Mamechi is starting to have doubts about Yooka-Laylee. Granted, I remember you were having doubts a while ago, Mamechi. You started... You're playing the game where you're comparing Yooka-Laylee to Sea of Thieves, and despite them both being, quote, rare games, end quote, I don't think there's that much comparison. Yooka-Laylee is a self-conscious throwback to games from 20 years ago. Sea of Thieves is trying to do something a bit more... I hate to say modern because that seems like it's disparaging to Yooka-Laylee, but Sea of Thieves is trying to propel the rare game into the current decade we're in, where Yooka-Laylee is saying, yeah, you know what? They don't make games like this anymore. And we've had tons of 8-bit revivals. Let's give them a 64-bit revival, So I understand what you're saying, but I feel like we can't really compare too much Yooka and Sea of Thieves.
Although I've got to have to pull you up there. You understood what he was saying.
I do speak Mamechi now, yes. After having him on the show, we had a meeting of the minds, and I completely get him now. No, look, Mech. I know reviewers are split on this. Yooka-Laylee is violently separating them from their lower torsos. I'm not worried about the critical reviews. For those of you who don't know, critical reception is decidedly mixed for everybody who's got an early copy of Yooka-Laylee. Some people love it. Some people hate it. And quite honestly, from what I've seen, and this is just a blanket statement and it doesn't apply 100%, but from what I've seen, the people who are going to like Banjo-Kazooie, the original Banjo-Kazooie, are going to like Yooka-Laylee. people who are of a different ilk, who may have never gotten into 3D platforming that wasn't just, Mario, may have issues with it. And Memechi wants me to clarify. He said in the Twitch chat, available to patrons at $5 and up. Listen to the conversation
yes, that's a
live.
Patreon-only resource we have for subscribers only. For people who subscribe at £5,000 and above.
I'm going to read Memechi's comment in the Twitch stream in my cheesy radio announcer voice. Hyle, some context for my call. I'm really upset that the Parappa the Rapper remastered PS4 release this month was one of the worst games I ever played. It's really hard to say that game name in a cheesy radio announcer voice, by the way.
Parappa the Rapper!
So yeah. I'm worried that I'm cursed so that every game I want in April is going to be ruined. Whoa! I added the whoa.
Whoa, my God! Yeah, it's infectious, that voice, though, I would say.
I can't stop talking like that now that you've started.
I wouldn't compare a Parappa the Rapper to Yooka-Laylee, despite the fact that they both have rappers in them. It's comparing East Coast rap with West Coast rap. Memechi, come on now.
Yeah, you idiot.
Look, and are you worried that it's too much like Banjo-Kazooie? Well, yeah, it might be, but I'm also confident it's going to do new things. If I had an early review copy or something, I could find out for myself, but I don't. That's ridiculous.
I think the possible problem is, as is often the case with this kind of project, and as I think it's probably fair to say we've encountered, is that people are paying for it. Like, there is a Kickstarter for it.
Technically, people should always pay for their games.
You know what I mean, though? It's something that people had backed in advance, so there was an expectation that had established itself in advance for a product. So even if someone had only backed for a little small amount, they'd still have a greater expectation of the project than would be the case were it to just be something that came out, as I believe was the original intent with this project anyway.
Yeah. But you see, I would think that people backing Yooka-Laylee would make them more likely to give glowing reviews, because the human capability for self-deception is great. And if we are financially invested in this game, more so than we are just buying a game, then I could definitely see that as get.
It could go, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think it can go one way or the other, can't it? So some people, because they've invested in it, will be more inclined to say it's brilliant. And some people, because they've invested in it, will be more inclined to say, what? I paid for this? I can't believe that shit is. I put good money into this bollocks. Can't believe it. Lot of fucking arse it is. I'm gonna fucking what?
Memechi brought up...
That's how people on the internet talk.
That is exactly how... I know. I've been on the internet. I've heard it. Memechi brought up Jim Sterling, and who says you should pirate Nintendo games, apparently. I don't know. But if he thinks you should pirate games, maybe that's why he's upset, because he backed the game. This is the first time he's ever paid money for a game, and he's upset that he doesn't have money.
I'm vaguely aware of Jim Sterling, but I'm pretty sure he's fairly well-to-do. So, I mean, listen, if you're listening, Jim Sterling, if you're struggling with money, I'll lend you a $5. Don't worry about it, mate.
Is he so well off because he offers his patrons 2 segue jokes?
Well, probably. I mean, there's a lot of money in it, clearly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't have 2. I've only got 1. And that's Patreon exclusive. That's a Patreon exclusive joke coming up later. Stay tuned. There's only 2 more hours left of the show.
I wouldn't worry. If you're looking forward to Yooka-Laylee, people, I would not worry about the mixed reviews. Because it sounds to me that if you are an old school Rare fan, you are going to like this game. It sounds to me that if you just got caught up in the frenzy, but you've never really been an avid fan of Banjo or even Donkey Kong 64, it sounds like then this game might be a harder sell. And I feel like, now obviously there's no way for me to know, but I feel like we need to not get swept up in the pandemonium, because this is what's infuriating to me about online gaming culture. One of many things, but it's that if a game does not have a perfect unanimous score right out the gate, then it's a failure, or the critics are biased, or like either we blame the critics or we blame the game itself as being the absolute worst thing that ever was. And it's like we can't handle light criticism. And granted, I used to be this way back in 1999 when Donkey Kong 64 got less than stellar. Like it got something like an 8 something on IGN, I think. An 8 point something.
Which is an absolute disgrace!
And now I think Donkey Kong 64 is mostly a load of rubbish with some good bits mixed in. But, we couldn't handle that it didn't get a perfect 10.0. And that's such a childish mentality. Maybe this isn't just gaming culture. Maybe this is
childish and also correct mentality.
Maybe this is the internet in general.
But only in the case of Donkey Kong 64, though.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like
Thanks.
With things like, okay, some people are giving Yooka-Laylee 3 out of 10, which I think is absurdly harsh. I'm sure is absurdly harsh, because knowing the pedigree of the guys who made it, there's no way the game is that bad. Likewise, I'm sure there's people giving Yooka-Laylee a perfect 10 out of 10, and I think that would probably be a little bit too high, because I very much doubt a 3D platforming throwback to 20 years ago is going to be immaculate. It's going to be without flaws. I'm sure there are some slight flaws. And the biggest flaw that people are mentioning as far as the PS4 and Xbox One versions are concerned is the frame rate and performance issues.
Oh, God, really?
Now listen, okay. Team 17 handled the ports for the consoles. So it's on them! We'll blame them. Playtonic is without blame. But here's the thing. There's going to be a day one patch to fix a lot of the camera issues and performance issues with the game. So the people who were playing this version is not the final version that gamers are going to get on Tuesday. So again, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Also, frame rate pedants are the absolute fucking scum of the earth anyway.
I remember...
Aren't they, though? Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D.
Oh, I can't believe it isn't 60 FPS. It doesn't look like it's reality anymore, even though all films aren't that.
Yeah, I've never been a frame rate guy myself, and I think it's because Banjo-Tooie had, like, pretty dodgy frame rate, but it was such a brilliant game that I don't care. And likewise...
Yeah, do you think we've been inoculated from it because of stuff like Banjo-Tooie and... Conker's Bad Fur Day, especially, yeah. It's even so, it doesn't, like, Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D was not unplayable on account of the frame rate at all. It's not anything like what people were making it out to be. And consequently, I'm very defensive about stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why I called them the absolute, and I quote, absolute scum of the earth. And I don't think that's harsh. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Look, I've been replaying Donkey Kong Land 3 recently just because its 20th anniversary is coming up in this fall and I want to bone up in plenty of time.
Yeah, we should do a site layout update for it.
We'll just do a monochrome version of the one we have right now.
Yeah. And if you scroll down too fast, you die.
Well, that pretty much existed for the site anyway. At least on mobile. But anyway, our site's broken. I've been playing Donkey Kong Land 3, and it just occurs to me how much more of a tolerance I have for things than, like, younger gamers must have. Because I played these monochrome Game Boy games that, I mean, had a lot of flaws, but we accepted those flaws as just part of doing business as a gamer back then.
Right.
And
you understood that it was... it's not reality, it was made by someone. Yeah. You can't just go to a game and go,
why is this not like real life? Oh, I don't feel like I'm really there. Oh, I don't even look like a frog.
Why do I have to accept that I am winning a game?
You're right. I mean,
You have to suspend your disbelief.
There's a suspension of disbelief that should go into games like this, where you.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like all the criticisms I'm seeing, I'm not discounting them because I have not played the game yet, but I feel like we all need to go into this game with an open mind. Don't let the bad reviews get you down. Go into the game with a clear perspective.
Don't read reviews. Make your own opinions for once, maybe. Think about doing that, maybe.
Don't panic. We got one more call to take. Let's wrap up this episode. But Mechi, I just want to say, you're worried about Yooka-Laylee, and it's fine if it's not really working for you. I'm not trying to pressure anybody into liking Yooka-Laylee either. You're not a bad fan if you don't like it, but also go into it with an open mind. It might surprise you. Think of the ducks, Mamechi. There is a duck in the game. All right, I'm going to take this last call so we can end this episode and we can get to this segue joke just for the patrons. And the suicide. Somebody's going to kill themselves. We'll find out who.
Hello, Hyle, and insert other name, host name here. It is yours truly, Banjo-Kazooie 2000, back with a last and final and, least? No, definitely not least. Yooka-Laylee news update. Well, there's been a lot of stuff announced over the past few months that I wasn't aware of. Preview copies have been sent out, review copies have been sent out, and all the reviews have been coming in, and they're incredibly mixed. I haven't been reading too many, but I have read a couple of them, and I do know a Twitch streamer who's going to be on the front page of Twitch playing Yooka-Laylee the day before release. So that's going to be fun. Yes, he is allowed to do a Platonic Games, has said that the embargo for Yuka stuff to stream is April 10th. Well, I'm not sure what that means, but what else is there? JonTron, blah, blah, politics, blah, blah. Anyways, Platonic also announced that there's going to be this, a patch day one of the game that's going to fix all the errors that people have talked about in reviews. But other than that, I really have not much more to talk about other than that I'm really excited for Yooka-Laylee, and I did pre-order it, so I have the toy box, and the game is just waiting to be unlocked on my Xbox One. So, thank you so much for taking my call. This is Banjo-Kazooie 2000, and I've completely forgotten my joke call counter thing. I guess I ruined my own humor streak. Anyways, thanks to you guys for taking my call, and have a good one.
Thank you for the call.
In the Skype chat, I think he's called himself Bob, isn't it? Bob. That's Bob. Yeah. It's a good name.
It's pretty much the most basic name there is. It's just like the factory name, the factory setting of names.
Yeah. Yeah, what other names are there?
Let's go through the phone book. Remember phone books? I'm showing my age.
Just 2 more hours of the show to go. We'll start the phone book review later on. Patreon exclusive donors will not have to listen to that bit.
But everybody else will have to, at gunpoint.
Will have to. Everyone else will have to listen to it.
No, we'll say we'll threaten there's a bomb in one of our listeners' homes. We won't say who, and it will go off unless everybody listens to it. Thank you for the call, and I do want to address before we end the episode how the Kongversation will be handling Yooka-Laylee coverage. So this is the last normal episode before Yooka-Laylee is released. Since Yooka-Laylee is the most significant game to come out in our fandom since Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, we will be doing something similar to our coverage of that game. So, we will be focusing one episode on each world. So we will have a Yooka-Laylee World 1 discussion episode, a World 2 discussion episode, and so on and so forth. They're not necessarily all going to be 1 week after another. If other stuff happens, we're going to break it up. But hopefully by E3 time, we will have completed all of our intense discussion about the game, and I will have different co-hosts throughout all the episodes, so we can get some different perspectives and some thoughts, and it'll be a really exciting, vibrant time to actually discuss games and not just, oh, I wonder what this game's going to be like, or hey, remember this game 20 years ago? That was a game. it's going to be nice to actually be discussing a new current game.
I'm very hurt by the way you've undermined my entire online presence there. Joe, you remember this game 20 years ago? It was good, wasn't it? But, I'll tell you what, you're right, though. Isn't it surreal that this is coming out? Like, just take a step back and think about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long journey. I mean, 2 years ago, we had Chris Sutherland on the show hinting about Project Yooka-Laylee. And, boy, they were really deceptive with that name, weren't they? So, anyway, we really should do, like, this multi-part episode discussion about all new games, like Mario Sports Superstars. Why haven't we done a 5-part episode about that yet?
Mario Sports Superstars is a game that I didn't know existed until earlier today, and I'm still not sure if it's something that Hyle's mocked up.
In our staff meeting with the other DK Vine staffers, I showed Matt the
Mario Sports. So lazy. Like, what sport should Mario play this week? Just put sports. We'll think of what sport later. There's your game, mate. Put that on your DS.
Can't wait for the spotlight episode of that. But I do have a quick reveal to make before we end up the episode. So that will all start next week. But I've been kind of lying this whole episode, Matt. I have a preview copy of Yooka-Laylee, and I'm going to be playing it for the next several days. This Sunday, I will be giving my review, my first impressions on Yooka-Laylee on a special Kongversation mini. So this Sunday, I will actually tell you what I think about Yooka-Laylee. Will I love it? Will I hate it? Find out on Sunday! Dun, dun, dun!
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.
This is a good podcast, isn't it?